All right, we're recording. Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
That's up to you.
Doesn't matter.
You can go ahead and go, and then I'll feed off.
All right. So tonight we're going to talk a lot about mindset and self-development and exactly what all that entails, because I think we throw it in a lot, but self-development is more than just like reading a book to say you read a book or listening to a podcast to say you listen to a podcast. um, Self-development in this industry is imperative. Like, there's no way around it. You have to do it. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to have a really thick mind and skull in this business, because you're going to get rejection. You're going to get um, people saying negative things. You're going to get people saying no. And you have to learn how to move past that and don't let it get you down. But also, when you're talking to people, like if you are in a negative mindset, you're going through some things, it's going to be really hard to talk life into people, to be that positive inspiration for people, if you are just dragging ass, depressed, anxious, all those different things. And we all struggle with that because that's just normal. But if you're constantly pouring into your mind, it becomes easier. So let's see, I have a whole thing of notes here. So when you are reading a book or listening to a podcast, um, and sometimes we get busy, and it's okay to, like, sometimes when I'm washing the dishes, I'll throw on a podcast and I listen to it. But if you are really, really struggling, I highly suggest that you really sit down, listen to a podcast, or if you're reading a book, like take notes. Really, like, take in what you're reading, what you're listening, because it's one thing to just be like, okay, I read this book for 15 minutes. Okay, well, what did you get from it? Crickets, right? Because I've done it myself. Like, I'll read and I'll be like, I totally did not just pay attention to everything I just read. You want to make sure that you're taking it in, find golden nuggets, write them down if that helps you. I write a lot of things down. I have this huge notebook and I brain dump. Like, if I hear something that moves me or speaks to me, I write it down. Um, and I can always go back to it later. It also helps with posting. If you feel like you're struggling with posting, listen to a podcast, read a book. Self development is more than just doing those two things. Self development is self affirmations. It's listening to music that just like awakens your soul. It's, you know, um, dancing around the house, like just anything that makes you feel good. And it doesn't have to be the same thing every day. I was telling Christine today, like, every day is different for me. I'm reading like 5 different books right now. Like, one day I want to work on a certain thing, so I'll read a book that correlates with that. Or I'll really do like a bunch of affirmations because, like, I'm just feeling really down about myself and I need to speak positivity into me. Or it's listening to music, or it's listening to a favorite pastor, or it's just sitting down and taking some time for yourself. Like Sunday, I sat down and I crocheted for a few hours. Whatever speaks to you and gets you in that good place, that's what you need to do. But the most important thing is you have to do it every single day. You can't wake up in the morning, read for 15 minutes, and think that's going to get you through the entire day, because it's not. If you read a book at 6 o'clock in the morning and then it's like 6 o'clock in the evening and you're having negative thoughts, like, that 15 minutes you did 12 hours ago is not going to just hold over for 24 hours. You need to be constantly pouring positivity into you, whether that's telling yourself, I'm worthy, I am successful, I can do this, whether that's telling yourself or reading a book or listening to a podcast. You need to always be pouring positivity into your mind. um, and also, like, pushing through those challenges, those rough times, we all experience it, but you can't give up or be like, okay, I'm gonna take a break because life is just hard today. Like, life is always going to be hard. There's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be stuff that's going to test you. And I can promise you that if you give up every time life gives you a challenge, you're never going to be successful. You're never going to be successful. It's when you start pushing through those challenges and not letting anything stop you, that's when you are going to start seeing your business flourish. It's a universe thing. It's, if you believe in God, it's whatever you believe in. I'm telling you, if you push through those challenges, because why? I believe in God. So why is God going to bless me if I give up every time he tries to test me? He's not going to bless me with a 40K team if I give up on my 4K team every other day. I wouldn't be able to handle a 40K team. So you have to push through those challenges. I found something, I was researching mindset and different things about mindset, and I found something that was really, really cool. So most people have a fixed mindset, which is something that, like, just by the way we're raised and the things that we're told, is how our mindset kind of gets into this fixed mindset. And the kind of things that you say when you have a fixed mindset are, I'm either good at it or I'm not. My abilities are unchanging. I don't like to be challenged. When I'm frustrated, I give up. I stick to what I know, and feedback and criticism is personal. This is like a fixed mindset. This is how most people are trained to think. Like, if I'm not good at something, you quit. Know what you're good at and stick with that. That's not necessarily true. Your mind is always growing and learning. And if you want to get better at network marketing, you can learn to get better at network marketing. If you want to get better at talking to people, you can get better at talking to people. You just have to teach yourself. People go to school to become a doctor. You can go to school to be a network marketer. You go to YouTube University and you can learn all the things. You can Google whatever. Read books. There's an unlimited amount of resources to become a professional at network marketing. Now, a growth mindset, which is what we are trying to retrain our brain into thinking, and that's why the positive affirmations, the listening to podcasts, and just retraining your brain is so important. So growth mindset is failure is an opportunity to grow. I can learn to do anything I want. Challenges help me grow. My effort and attitude determines my ability. Feedback is constructive. I am inspired by the success of others, and I like to try new things. I am a huge believer in self-affirmations. Like, I have them on my mirrors. I have them on marker boards. Like, I literally have them everywhere. It's not that I don't have negative thoughts or I don't get down on myself or I don't have self-doubt. But as soon as I do, I knock that shit in the butt quicker than shit, because I am manic depressive. And if I just slip into a little bit of a depression, it is so hard for me to get out. So it's super, super important for me to constantly be pouring into my brain, constantly be telling myself, I'm good, I'm beautiful, I'm successful, I can do this. Like, no matter what it is, I'm a good mom. Like, I'm constant, because if you read up on mindset and you read the science behind it, it's a scientific fact. You tell your brain something constantly every single day, your brain starts to believe it. But we grow up with so much self-doubt, so much self-hatred, so much bashing ourselves that is what our brain is used to. Because growing up, I was a teenager, I was fat, I wasn't skinny enough, I wasn't pretty enough. My hair sucks. I hate my curly hair. Why do I have to have glasses? Like, we self-deprecate ourselves so much growing up. And then when we're trying to do something like this, we're like, but I have all these negative thoughts. Well, that's what you've been doing for 20 years. Of course, that's what your brain is used to. But you have the power to change that. And it's something so simple that is so important. When we first started network marketing, people said self-development, and me and Christine were both like, that's a crock of shit. Like, how's reading a book gonna help me grow my business? I don't know how, but I know that it works. it's all about, because when you grow your mind and you read a book or you learn something new, you want to share it with people, and people feed off of that positivity and that information that you're giving them, because everybody struggles with some sort of depression or anxiety or self-hate. Like there's something that people can relate to in some form or fashion, you know. And it's so important to just get your mind um in a positive way. And not that it's going to be easy, but like they always say, like, you got to get out of your comfort zone. Like you just have to. There's no way around it. I wasn't comfortable with sharing some of my stories or going live. But when I did, I saw a huge difference, you know, in my business. My mindset is different. I have people that reach out to me and they're like, you have, like, your mind has grown so much. I can tell a huge difference just in the way you post. Um, and something else, like a growth mindset allows you to embrace failure and learn from it. And that's one of the most important things I always say to myself. Like, my failures are a learning experience. I may have failed at this, but I'm going to try something different. Like, you have to learn how to react to a failure. You know, I told Christine today, I was like, you know, a lot of people look at success as signing a customer, signing a promoter. I haven't done either of those this month, but I have talked to so many people this month, and I've got people asking me questions and wanting to know what I do and asking me about the products. For me, that's a win, because I'm planting so many seeds, and I know that if I stick with this and I stay consistent and I keep my mind right, it's going to grow. It's going to harvest. Also, people with a growth mindset respond with more positive and sophisticated strategies to like doing different tasks. When you have that growth mindset, you're open to watching videos or taking notes. You're learning more and you're implementing them in your life. Learning from failure causes substantial changes in the brain throughout life. This is a fact. Like, when you start seeing your failures as a positive thing, as a way to success. Okay, you know, something simple, like when you're little, you learn how to paint your nails, right? At first, you're really freaking crappy. Everybody does it different, but you figure out what works for you. It doesn't mean the first time you did it, you failed. It just means that way didn't work for you. You're going to try 10 more different ways and see what's better for you. You just use that same mentality in this business. If posting at 10 o'clock in the morning doesn't work for you, find a time that works for you. You know, me and Christine were also talking about, you know, a lot of leaders give us a lot of tips and different advices. You know, they say, don't watch, you know, so much TV, or turn your TV off, or go to bed, you know, without the TV on. That may work for them, but for me personally, I can't sleep without my TV on. That works for me. You know, I don't have to not do it because they said not to do it. I know what works for me, but I'm also very intentional with my time. If I do have TV on, it's something that I've watched a million times and I probably won't pay a lot of attention, but I like having it on in the background. So it's just a matter of like figuring out what works for you, figuring out what doesn't work for you, and have a balance with it. That was my little spiel on mindset and self-development. Just find something that works for you. If you don't like to read, don't force yourself to read, because you're probably not even going to take what you need to take from that book. If you're better with podcasts or audiobooks, then do that. I highly do recommend that everybody does self-affirmations. I pretty much know everybody on this team personally, and I think we could all use self-affirmations. They help me a great deal. I feel so free. And, you know, doing like a brain dump that M talks about, like in your journal, if you have like a lot of bad thoughts, or like you're feeling super anxious or whatever, like write it down. Journaling is huge for me as well. Something else I wanted to talk about, I'm a little nervous to talk about it, but it's about participation. And I feel like I'm trying to say this in the most good way as I possibly can. But you have to stay connected. You have to show up to go up, as they say. We do a lot of these Zooms every week. We take the time out of our schedule. You know, Christine works a part-time job. I work a part-time job. I've got 4 kids. We got a lot going on in our lives too. And we take our time out to pour into you guys and love onto you guys, which we love. But like the stuff that we're telling you and we're teaching you, if you don't show up or you don't watch the replay or you don't participate, like when we go into the team page and we say, hey, what are y'all struggling with? What are your questions? And nobody asks a question. I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm just trying to be like, we can't help you if we don't know what you're going through or what struggles you're dealing with. And we've always wanted this to be like a family, a home, and we want to help each other as best as we can. If the Zooms aren't helping you, let us know how we can help you, because I don't want to go, set aside an hour to take down notes for you guys and then set aside another hour to do a Zoom for you all. And then like nobody shows up or nobody hops on or nobody watches the replay. I just want to help you guys in the best way I can. But I do know that if you don't plug in with your team, you can kind of feel lost. I still, as long as I've been in this, I hop on the Wednesday night team Zooms every week. If I miss it because I'm so dead tired from work, I'll watch the replay the very next morning. When M goes live or Katie goes live, I'm always pouring into myself. I'm always staying plugged in, because I feel like if I didn't, I wouldn't feel like I was, part of that community or whatever. So I just kind of wanted to touch on that. This isn't like personally against like anybody specific. I just want to make sure you guys are getting what you need. And if there's some way that we could do something different, or maybe a different day, or maybe we go live more in the team page, like whatever it is that you guys need, let us know, because we just want to better help you. If I have a question, I usually just message you. Should I post in the group instead? No, that's fine. We have like 31 people on that team page. So this isn't like personal, like Kat, if you ask me a question personally, that's completely fine. I'm just saying this as a whole. Hopefully the team will rewatch this, but as a whole, like, when we say, hey, what questions do you have? Or like we post something that we think is going to be helpful in the team page, and like we see that everybody sees it. But we'll be like, like Christine did that video and she was like, share with me your aha moments. Nobody, responded to it. And I get that we're busy and stuff. I just want to make sure that you guys are seeing it. You guys think the team page is helpful. If we need to be more active in the team page, we can definitely work on that. If you guys are enjoying these Zooms, if you think these Zooms are helpful, I just want to make sure you guys are getting what you need from us. So that we can all be successful. And that's just kind of where that is coming from. So I'm done. Your turn, Christine.
I love it. So the reason I had Fee go first is because mine's a little less about the business side of everything and more or less about the internal, like your mind, because your mind is a very powerful thing, and I'm pretty sure we all know that. We crave chocolate and we can't, or we can't stop the temptation. Like we just keep craving the chocolate, and that's like all in your mind. So I did a little more digging, because I can pour into you guys all day long from my heart, but I like sharing things that are legit, if that makes sense. Like, I like knowing that what I am telling you guys is like a proven fact. So I spent probably around an hour just Googling, and that is one thing that you guys need to start utilizing. And I'm not talking about, like just network marketing or just law of attraction or manifestation. I literally Googled how to strengthen your mentality, to see what I could pull up. And I found golden nugget after golden nugget after golden nugget. And there were a lot of things that even I read and I was like, oh shit, I don't even do that, but that would help me a lot. So I literally took 3 pages of notes to pour into you guys, because I think mentality is where it all starts. I mean, it's hard to even get out of bed if you have the wrong mentality. So the first thing that I found pretty much everywhere is challenge yourself. Do things that are uncomfortable physically and mentally. If you seek a challenge in your daily life, it gets easier every single day. There was a quote that I ran across years ago, and it's always stuck with me. If you improve 1% every single day, by the end of the year, you're 365% better than you were last year. And I honestly feel like that comes from doing something that makes you uncomfortable once a day. And again, that can be mentally or physically, because if you're doing it physically, let's say you work out, you are training your psyche to get used to that, if that makes sense. And continue to do it like every day. That should be a challenge you do for yourself. And try new things, go new places. If you take a certain route to work, leave 5 minutes earlier and go a different route, change the scenery. We get stuck in this mundane life where you just are, no matter how much energy you have, you still kind of zombie mode through life and you're almost on autopilot. Take a different route to work. Continue to vary your experiences. So, like, if you're going to work and you're doing the same thing every day, change something about it. And I mean, obviously, not every job you can, like, change something, but, like, even if it's you go in, clock in first, and then go set your stuff down, maybe try to go set your stuff down and then clock in. Just tweak little things in your daily life to get out of that stuck mode, and expose yourself to new people and new surroundings. I discovered the other day that there's a park bench right by the pond across the street, and that pond belongs to the neighborhood across the street, but the park bench is like on the public side. And I went over there and sat over there. I sit on my front porch every single day, you guys, and look at that pond, and I just feel relaxed looking at it. Just by moving across the street and sitting on that park bench gave me a whole different, like, zen moment with the pond. So just change your surroundings up a little bit. Look into feng shui. I shit you not. Like, I was that person that was like, yeah, okay, I moved my bed to one side of the room and all of a sudden the energy flow is different. Yeah, suck my big toe. But literally, like, look into feng shui, because that shit is serious. um, and it could be any number of things, like, I reorganize like I get paid to do it. And every time I reorganize, I just get that mental woosah. Take care of others. And I feel like that's something that moms have more mentally, when we talk about mentality, because you have that natural urge to care for your children. That's not me. I mean, I have my fur babies, but they're pretty self-sufficient as long as I scoop their poop and feed them. Felicia, I just got your text on my iPad. Naughty. Felicia's mind is in the gutter, y'all. But regularly help people. So the other day, it was not last night, but the night before, we went and hung out at a friend's house, and he asked us to run him to the gas station before we left. Y'all, it was pouring down rain, and there was a girl standing outside of the gas station, sopping wet, sobbing, bawling her eyes out. She had nothing on, and around here it's been chilly lately. It's been like 60s, low 70s, and then at night it gets into the 50s or 60s, and it's raining, and she's got nothing on but a t-shirt and pajama pants. No shoes, no nothing, no jacket, no hat, nothing, just a t-shirt and pajama pants. And I didn't have anything to give her, and I felt terrible. I didn't know what her story was. I didn't know what was going on. But Amanda had on a long sleeve shirt underneath her sweatshirt, and she said, "Do you think this will help?" And I mean, obviously, if it's cold and raining, anything long sleeve will help. So I took it to her, and I asked her what was going on, and all she could sob was that she was okay. And y'all, get emotional. All I did was give her a hug. And the way that she gripped me, I could have given her nothing. Even if I didn't have that long sleeve shirt and all I did was give her a hug, the way that she gripped me and said, "Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for talking to me." She didn't even thank me for the long sleeve shirt. She said, "Thank you for talking to me," and gripped me tighter than my little sister grips me when she's excited to see me. And I felt like I did something. I couldn't give anything to her but a peace of mind and to let her know that there was still good people out there. I took the time out of my night to ask her what was going on. She wouldn't tell me, but the fact that I asked her, I could tell in her face that it made a difference. You guys care for people. We are all human. I know it's real easy to go out in public and judge someone. I could have judged her. I could have been like, she's probably, because around here heroin's really bad. I could have been like, she's a heroin addict. She's just out on her luck. Like, forget her, because that's how it is in that area. But I didn't. And just because of that, I had a peace of mind. And I know that sounds selfish, but when we're talking about mentality and I look back to that night, I felt just good about myself. You know, do random acts of kindness, just care for other people. And be grateful. Be grateful for what you guys have. I know Felicia touched on this, but being grateful is one of the biggest mindset roadblocks that people have. You can be doing everything right and taking every single thing that you get back for granted, and it's going to be really short-lived. You're going to find something negative in everything if you're not grateful, whether it's just the tiniest thing. And that tiniest thing, I believe in the universe, Juju, that tiniest thing can throw off everything. And get in the habit of showing thanks for things. Amanda and I went through a little rough patch in our relationship, and I thought back to the beginning of our relationship, and the only difference between that moment and the beginning of our relationship is in the beginning of our relationship, I thanked her for literally everything. Like, she said, "I bless you." When I sneezed, I said thank you. Like, it was the smallest thing I would say thank you for. And just saying that, again, it's your psyche. You get used to appreciating the things that people do for you. And when you appreciate what other people do for you, it allows you to live more of a full life, no matter what it is. And rejuvenate. I meditate, and I know for moms it's kind of hard to find that quiet time. But even if, you're leaving 5 minutes after the kids, or you get home 5 minutes before the kids, just take that 5 minutes and just chillax. Like, just be quiet, be still, sit on your couch, go stare out of a window. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but another thing that I found for mentality is being outside is really refreshing for your mind. Getting that fresh air. I know we've all heard that growing up, but literally getting that fresh air gets anything that's blocking you mentally out. You know, you call it mother nature for a reason. Like, going outside nurtures your body. And simplify and minimize. This is something that I saw everywhere too. Kind of going back to the feng shui thing. If your life is cluttered, your mind is cluttered. Where I live is very cluttered, and it, it drives me absolutely insane. No, I can't with you right now, okay, bud? Sorry, cat mom life. But where I live is very cluttered. Not for my lack of trying. It's just that's how it is. Which is a reason why Amanda and I are working so hard on getting out of here. Because there's so much around me at all times, it's kind of hard for me to release because I'm constantly seeing something that needs to be done. So minimize and simplify anything in your life. Take out the extra steps. If there's something that can be eliminated, do it. I went from having a 30-minute, 5-step facial regimen to literally only doing cleanser and moisturizer, and I feel like my life is a breeze at night now. Like, it's literally the smallest things that you don't realize that you need or you don't need, but society makes us feel like we do need it. Really sit back and think about what you need for your life aside from what society tells you you need to do. Simplify and minimize. I repeat that. Simplify and minimize, because you don't need all that extra bullshit, especially if you're trying to run a business. Do what you love and have fun doing it. Continue to spend time with your passion, whether, like for Felicia, it's crocheting. I know we have a business to run, but I mean, at the end of the day, that business is nothing if you're not happy. And do the things that you love. Do the things that you're passionate about. I'm passionate about, I know it sounds silly, but watching makeup tutorials on YouTube. That shit makes me happy. Like, I can sit there for 4 hours and watch 20 different girls rub 20 different eyeshadows on their eyeballs, and I'm happy camper. But just do what makes you happy. Know yourself enough, and through self-development, you will find what's right for you. Find your passion and love it. Love it. And enjoy it while you're doing it. Don't sit down. If you're stressed, don't sit down and do something that you're passionate about, because it will fall into that same mundane routine. Every time you get frustrated, you'll go to that. And I know it sounds like a good idea to sit there and go do something that you're passionate about when you're frustrated, but you really, when you're frustrated, you need to work through those thoughts. You need to work through those emotions instead of pushing it to the side and going and doing something that you love. You really need to work through it, because that'll just come back later and bite you in the ass when it comes to your business. A little more about going into depth of outside, aside from it clearing your mind. Go out there and read, write, throw a blanket in the grass and have a picnic with your kids. You know, like, it can just be right outside the back door. You don't even got to bring dishes out. You know what I mean? Just being outside and doing, especially when it's nice out, you know, do something that can be done outside in your backyard. If it can be done outside, do it. I grew up and I didn't have the easiest childhood, but I remember being happy. And when I think back to my childhood, I was outside all the time. And when I think back to when my depression started, was when I stopped going outside. When we moved here, I stopped going to a sports camp that was outside all day long. And then when I would get home from school, I would hang out with my friends outside until the street lights came on. That was our rule. And then when we moved here, I didn't have the friends to go hang out with. I was inside all the time. And that's when my depression started. I mean, there's a few other links, but like that's one thing. If I would have just went outside and sat on my back patio for 20 minutes a day after I got home from school, I guarantee you that things would have been a lot easier. And that kind of goes back into the big old woo-saw moment when you're outside. But just be outdoors. Everything's better outdoors is pretty much what I'm trying to say. Stay closely connected with your loved ones. And this is something that I struggle with because I went through a point in my life where I felt like I did nothing but rely on the people that loved me and took advantage of them. And I don't want to go back to that. So now I struggle with reaching out and talking to and spending time with the people that love me. And I'm working on it. I just had an impromptu day with my little brother, and that just made me happy. Like, I came home and I was ready to talk to people. I was ready to just be myself, and I was feeling kind of stuck, and doing that helped. Spend time with people that care about you. I'm a strong believer in you don't have to be blood related to be family. If you have a friend and they're like your sister or whatever the case, go hang out with them, even if it's just like an hour a week. Like, just make that time for people that love you. No, you gotta chill, okay? Take care of your health. And I know like the 3 steps helps us out a lot, but just, eat right, train smart. So, like, if you exercise, figure out what works best for your body, because the more you strain yourself, the more you think negatively. You're like, oh, I can't do this because this move doesn't feel right, and da 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 da, and then you get down on yourself, and before you know it, you stop working out. Find things that work for you. Research things. Train smart. So if you work out and your problem area is your tummy, I don't know, your thighs, whatever the case, look up what exercises are good for that, because that will lead you into the right direction. That will give you your results. Again, clearing your mind of those negative thoughts. Sleeping is a huge one. I know, like, for Jamie, I'm sure it's hard being a mom and working as full-time as you do. I'm sure it's hard to find time to, like, actually chillax and get good sleep. But even if it's just on the weekends, even if it's just a few days a week, like, you get to look forward to those few days, and knowing that you have that sleep coming can kind of give you that hope to carry you out throughout the week. Sleep is very big for your mind. No, I can't. I love you, but not right now. Be proactive. Really? Oh my goodness, you guys. This cat is driving me insane. Acknowledge and embrace imperfections. That was another huge one that I was seeing. Hiding from your weakness means you will never overcome them. If you know something doesn't work for you, just don't fucking do it. Pretty much is what that means. Replace the word failing with the word learning. That's something that I really, it was only on one article, but it was the number one thing that stuck out to me. Instead of saying, like, I failed at, I don't freaking know, I failed that conversation. Use that conversation as a learning experience for your next conversation. You didn't fail anything. You learned a lesson. When you make a mistake or fall short of a goal, like, just instead of saying that you failed at it, just say that you've learned. Stop seeking approval. So it's died down quite a bit. So I'm pretty much just saying this for future girls who watch back on this video. Stop seeking for approval. You sacrifice your own potential when you are looking for someone else's approval. Do what feels right for you. A lot of girls have asked us in the past, should I post this? Should I post that? What should I go live about? How should I word this? How should I word that? As much as we want to help you, we can't really tell you how to be you. Only you can do that. And if you look for our approval on how to be yourself, you're pretty much telling your brain that you're not worthy of your own success in life in general. And value the process over the end result. Growing your mind takes time. That's just how it is. That's something that I had to learn, and I don't want you guys spending 3 years like I did learning that. I want you guys to learn that right here, right now, on this Zoom, because I don't want to see anyone else. I wasted 3 years of my network marketing adventure getting ready to get ready, pretty much. I didn't realize that, you can make these changes overnight. As much as we would like to wake up tomorrow and be a happier person, value the process. You're going to have your bad days. It's going to happen. We're human. That's just how it is. I wake up and I still deal with my depression. I wake up and sometimes I don't want to get out of bed, but I have to tell myself, if I get out of bed today, it's going to be easier tomorrow. If I stay in bed today, it's going to be harder tomorrow. Just value the process, and keep your mind on the bigger picture as well. I'm not telling you that you can't look forward to, in business aspects, I'm not saying you can't look forward to being 200K. But what I'm saying is focus on 4K right now and value the process and getting there. Celebrate your growth, you guys. We get stuck in this, okay, I achieved it, move on to the next thing. Take a minute. Y'all, when Felicia went 4K, it was like a 3-day celebration. She enjoyed that so much, and that made me happy. That made me want to run. Her celebrating 4K for like 9 months was like enough for me to go. Celebrate it with other people, because you never know how much your excitement is going to excite them. You never know how much you can help with someone else's mental growth. They see you excited in your lives and they want to order a sample pack. Like, they're excited to jump in with you because you're excited. Share your growth with other people, whether it be in the team page, in the team chat, messaging us separately, telling your friends and family. Shit, stand on top of the Eiffel Tower and scream it to the world. Like, let people know you are proud of yourself, because you deserve that shit. You don't do all of this hard work just to sit there and be like, yeah, I did it. Okay, now next. No, girl. You take that time and you scream it to the world, because you deserve it. You put in the hard work. You let people know. I'm not saying get cocky, but I'm just saying celebrate it, then simmer down and move on. And learn from other people's mistakes. Like I said, I don't want you guys to spend 3 years doing what it took me 3 years to learn. But don't compare yourself either. So like Felicia, you went 4K in 5 months, right? Yeah. So she went 4K in 5 months. Y'all, I've been in for 9 months. But I'm happy. I haven't ranked yet, but I'm happy with where my mind has gone. I am happy with the way that things are going. Again, I'm enjoying the process, but I'm not comparing myself to Felicia, because I'm not Felicia. I'm very happy for Felicia. I cheered her on to 4K, and she's hitting 12K this month. I hope she knows. But I'm not going to sit here and get down on myself, because why should I? I'm not Felicia. I'm fucking Christine Suane Carrico, okay? And the world is going to know it. I'm growing my story, and this is a little social media tip that I'm going to throw in. Storytelling is real hot on Facebook right now. Those long posts where you get vulnerable, freaking Kat had like 150 some likes on her vulnerable post. It's hot right now, you guys, and don't miss the train. You guys, right here, right now, in this moment, this is the time to start getting vulnerable. Before you know it, Facebook's going to get out of this phase. So if you get in while it's hot, you're going to create that genuine following. Okay, now I'm getting down off that soapbox, but just realize that you're human and we all share the same weaknesses. At the end of the day, Katie, Chloe, me, and Felicia were talking about this today. They could look at someone else and be like, oh my goodness, they word their stuff so perfect. Like Chloe looks at Felicia like she is an idol. That girl is like 80K now, I think. She's an 80K leader, and she looks at Felicia and she thinks that her posts are gold. Felicia looks at Chloe's the same way. They both want to know how to post like each other, but they're still themselves. You don't see the good in yourself. And that's unfortunately part of being human. You know, we're our own biggest critic. But if you can just get rid of that criticism in the back of your head, like, and just do you, you'll be golden. I ran across a Forbes article, and y'all know how much Katie loves her some Forbes. So as soon as I saw this, I was like, this has to be good. And it had 5 things for growing your mind. Evaluate your core beliefs, expand your mental energy, or expend your mental energy wisely, replace negative thoughts with productive thoughts, practice tolerating discomfort, and reflect on your progress daily. And that goes back to celebrating your growth. If you had troubles getting out of bed yesterday and you got out of bed today, congratulations. I'm fucking proud of you, because that shit can be hard. I'm drinking more water today. Yesterday, girl didn't do too well, and I'm fucking proud of myself. I drank 2 cups of water today, and I'm celebrating that today. I didn't do much of shit else today, but I drank my water. So just reflect on your progress daily. And the last thing I want to leave you guys on is take ownership for your attitude. Once you develop a growth mindset, own it. Acknowledge yourself as someone who processes a growth mentality. Be proud and let it guide you. Again, going back to the business, like, I know I've said this a million times that I only post when I feel called to post. I haven't posted all day today. I posted in my stories, but I haven't made my post. When I was doing this research, I literally have enough posts in the back of my head for the next 2 weeks. Like, so just post when you feel called to post. You know, just let the good vibes flow. Let it guide you to where you need to be. We didn't name this group Positive Vibe Tribe for nothing. Like, we want y'all to inhale the good shit, exhale the bad shit. That makes me sound like a pothead. But, you know, just take a second to breathe every day, reevaluate everything, and then move on with your next step. If you have overcome something that you've been struggling with, celebrate it. You know, just find what works for you and drink a big old fucking cup of woosah every day. And that's what I got for you guys.
I had to unmute myself. That was awesome. I love that. I could literally read stuff on the mindset like all day long. I think it's so fascinating. So I hope that helped. Something that I wanted to kind of like just touch base on is, you know, when you're being yourself and you're working this business and you're growing your mind, and we focus way too much on what rank am I, how much volume am I bringing in, you know, how many customers did I sign this month, how many promoters did I sign this month. Once you take that pressure off, I know I say this all the time, but it's so true. Once you take that pressure off and you were just having real, genuine conversations with people and building relationships, it becomes fun. I've had so much fun this month and I haven't signed anybody. But let me tell you, I have talked to over 100 people this month so far because I devoted to 10 conversations every day. 10 new conversations. And when I say that, I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with the business or the products. It means just having conversations, getting to know each other. I've become really good friends with this girl over in England. She's super funny. And she like tells me about this food and she's like, oh, I'm going to make spaghetti bolognese. And I'm like, what the hell is that? We don't have that over here. And she's like, there's all kinds of spaghetti in a tin, spaghetti in a box. And I was just like, yeah, we have spaghetti and baked spaghetti. That's it. But like, just have fun with it. Have those conversations, you know, as long as you're doing, even when you're doing everything, you know, you're supposed to. You're growing your mind, you're posting, you're in your stories, you're interacting with people, you're having conversations. Again, I believe in God, whatever you believe in, but like, it's all in God's timing. You can want this like nobody's business. I want to be a 4K leader tomorrow, but you have to put the work in. You know, when God or the universe or Mother Nature, whatever you believe in, your crystals, whatever, like when you are ready for that, you will be blessed with that. But you do have to put in the work. You do have to grow your mind. You have to become a leader and be okay with failure and learn from your mistakes and just constantly growing, because when you start doing that, it may not feel like you're going anywhere, but I promise you, you can ask Christine, like, I didn't even know I hit 4K when I hit 4K. Like, I was in a whole nother world, like crying to my mama, like I had some shit going on. But I had worked so hard at growing my mind and being a leader and learning how to change things up and learning how to run, you know, a business the right way, that when you start doing that, it almost is like a domino effect. Things start just falling into place. It's just like manifestation. You know, you're speaking positivity in your life, you're being kind to people, you're putting good out in the world. Good will come back to you, but you have to put in the work. So don't concentrate so much on like, oh, I got to be 4K tomorrow, or I have to be 4K by this date, or I have to sign 20 promoters in 1 month. Like, just be you, build those relationships, do what you know you're supposed to be doing, always growing your mind, and everything else will fall into place.
I want to point something out. Y'all, she said she has 10 new conversations a day. She hasn't signed anyone this month. Imagine the seeds that are going to sprout 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months from now just from the 10 conversations a day she's having now.
Yeah, a day, y'all. And there was one day where I did like 20 because I was like just super gung-ho. But like, because I've had those conversations, there's been a few where they come out immediately and they're like, hey, what's Thrive? And there's been some where we've had a conversation for a few days and they're like, okay, so go ahead and tell me about that patch. It's about building that trust, because now they feel comfortable to ask me about it, because, oh, she's super quirky and funny. I could totally ask her about her Thrive and she's not going to like shove it down my throat. That's what building relationships is all about. But like, doing 10 every day, it's not as hard as it sounds. But doing 10 conversations every day, you know, within 1 week, that's 70 conversations. 70 conversations. That is a lot of people. That is a lot of connecting. And if you haven't watched M's video from today about intentionally growing your network, I highly, highly suggest it. She talked about, she had a lot of good tips about intentionally adding people to your network that you can connect with, and where it'll be easier to have conversations with people. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got. But I love you guys. We went super long tonight. Mindset, man, I'm telling you, I could talk about it forever. But I hope that was super helpful. If any of you guys, again, like have any tips or things that we can do to better help you guys, please let us know. We can only do what we're aware of. You know, if we don't know you're struggling with something, we can't help you with it, and we want you all to succeed. So if there's something that we can tweak or make better, you know, if you need us to be like more active in the chat or in the team page, or you want us to share more stuff in the team page, like just let us know. We are learning as we go as well. You know, I've never been a leader of 15, 20 people. So this is new for me too. So if there's any way that we can better help you, please let us know. We are open to criticism. We are open to feedback. We love you guys. Wednesday night, they're having the big team chat with Chloe and Dominique. It's going to be good. Like, Chloe's freaking amazing, and she speaks to my soul and heart every time she opens her mouth. So definitely check that out. Don't forget to invite your people to our opportunity thing on Thursday, and have a good Monday. I'm off all day tomorrow, so if you need any help tomorrow, I'm actually off, and I will be available all day. Super excited, but